God, the Spain circle.
Yo, every Wednesday night, you better tune in tight. At 7 p.m. CST, we bring in that insight. Halas Hall Report, best podcast in the game. Stats and facts, you'll remember the name. Host Ken Dub got the knowledge on lock. Co-host Woody the Bear fan, talking all that talk. 3 Bear fans chilling, opinions on the side. We're here for the love, riding that Bear pride. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Lions think they're fierce with Dan Campbell's call, but all that greed ain't gonna help them at all. Same old story, we know how it goes. They just can't compete, everybody knows. Minnesota Vikings always talking smack, but when it's game day, they ain't got the knack. Sitting on the couch while we're making a stand. Over here in Chi-Town, we're the best in the land. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Packer fans yell blow, pack, blow, but can't see the truth. We're stealing the show. Rivalry heated, but we stay real cool. Halas Hall Report, yeah, that's the rule. With every episode, we build that hype. Stats and team news, we got the right type. Fan base strong, we ain't looking back. 2025, it's a win and attack. So gather round fans, put your hands in the air. Every Wednesday night, we're breathing that bear. Join the revolution, watch the magic unfold. Halas Hall Report, we're breaking the mold. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the sky. So mark your calendars, don't miss a beat. Every Wednesday night, Halas Hall can't be beat. Stats, facts, team news on deck. Halas Hall Report, what did you expect? 2025, the Bears are here to stay. Blue and orange in the north, leading the way.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Halas Hall Report. It's the Sunday edition. Camp is going. We've had a preseason game in the NFL, and Woody waiting on a new couch. Good morning, my friend.
Yep, I'm laying like this because I have nowhere to sit.
So what happens? You get rid of the old couch to make room for the new couch. The new couch is supposed to be there at a certain time. They're like, well, why don't you wait a few more? Like, really? Where am I supposed to sit? Hey, did you watch Thursday night's game?
No. I even forgot all about it was on, but I heard it was a total demolishing.
I mean, it was the backups against the backups against the backups against the backups against the backups. Good morning, Yoli.
Woody Woodpecker. Wow.
Trey Lance looked actually pretty good for the Chargers, making a good case to win that backup position. They had Amari Hampton play like one series. He looked decent. But it's backups. I mean, probably 90% of the guys on the field don't even make a roster. But it was football, and it's a reminder, hey, it's back. And we start joint practices with Miami this week as we go through camp and get ready for preseason game 1, where we probably will see the starters for what? Maybe a series or 2 at best?
Yep. Against Miami, joint practice.
I wonder, Woody, though, I mean, even though I think joint practices, there's a lot more weights put on joint practices in preseason games now, but with the new coaches across the board for us, do you think maybe we see more of the starters in the preseason this year because with the new coaching, or no?
I don't know. I think they keep it the same. They'll maybe cut it down to a series or 2 series with Caleb and the starters. I don't think they'll push it because there's new coaches and stuff. That's what they have practices for. I don't think they're gonna push them too hard this first couple games in the preseason.
Yeah, I'm not expecting much. I mean, we'll talk more Wednesday night, assuming we're on Wednesday night, which we should be, about the next week's preseason game. But I would assume, everything's gonna be pretty vanilla. because I don't think anyone calls anything remotely close to their offense or defense in the preseason. It's just vanilla stuff. Okay, here's what we used to do in college. Just run this. They're not learning any. It's not like guys are running anything out of the playbook during preseason per se. But I'm just wondering how much of the starters I want to see the starting line for at least 2 series. I think
Yep.
minimum, because
Yeah, I
practice
think
reps.
I think I'm thinking that the offensive line might go a little bit more, maybe with the third string, maybe agent, maybe get some reps in. Of course, probably Case Keenum. I don't know what the battle is going on there, so I guess is what preseason's for.
Well, I was gonna say I would think that the first team, the starters for the offensive line might get a little bit of extra work in a preseason game, because reps at practice are great, but reps against other competition is better. And when you're trying to gel a new offensive line, it would seem to me that the best way to do that is get them game action versus joint practice or practice action. Like joint practice will help, right? When they're doing joint practice, I mean that's going to give them a lot of value. They're going to get tons of reps that way. But I would think even going against second string guys, if that's what Miami throws their second string defensive line out there, I would still think the first stringers would probably get some extra snaps just so they can coalesce more together as a unit.
Right. Yeah. So the news is that Braxton Jones is ready for camp, not week 1. Camp.
Oh no, he's practicing. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been practicing since day 1. So it's a true. And they're saying that Kieran is the most improved player from last year at camp. If you read the reports, they're like impressed with what he's done from last season to this season, and that this is a true 3-way battle at left tackle.
Yeah, we'll see. I see against our own the Bears on practice and stuff like that. I want to see how they do against other teams. Like that's why they like the joint practices and stuff.
Right.
Then I'll declare what the battle is. We'll see about when they go Dolphins and Bills back to back.
I think Braxton Jones being back for camp and being there on the practice field, practice from day 1, is a huge boost for this team. Even if he doesn't become the starter, let's say, just for sake of argument, let's say Ozzie Trapillo, who's just a mountain of a man. He's bigger than the other 2 guys. Let's say he wins the job, right? Thank you, Slam and Sammy. I think they look a lot more complete now too. We'll get to that in a second, though. Let me finish this thought on the line or at left tackle. But the fact that Braxton's back, and he hasn't been horrendous. He hasn't been terrible. He's been better than average, more than serviceable at left tackle for the last couple seasons. I think he has an edge up on the competition because of his experience. But the fact that he's back at practice and it's pushing Trapillo and Kieran is only good, right? I don't think there's anything bad about that. So at left tackle, Woody, I'm going to say this: we have depth. That's one position on the offensive line where I don't think depth is anywhere near close to an issue.
Yeah. Now, with Ozzie and Kieran saying to themselves, "Oh shit, Braxton Jones is going to be ready for camp," that's probably going to put a fire in their ass too.
Yeah, the reports out of camp right now from the beat reporters and whatnot is Kieran is the most improved player at camp, and the coaching, he has done well, been very receptive to the new coaching, and he is tearing it apart. He is what they were hoping he would be when they drafted him, someone who's going to push for the starting position and push. And then that goes to Joe's comment. Slamming Sammy Joe says the Bears look like a complete team now. And I think we look more complete. If this offensive line is better, I agree. We look more complete now than we've looked probably ever. Even 85 wasn't this complete. 85 was a phenomenal defense with some really good offensive pieces. But let's be honest, that offense was not a complete offense. It had a super fast wide receiver, a quarterback who could deliver the ball, the best running back in the history of the NFL with Matt Suey leading the charge. He gets overlooked way too much at fullback. A pretty good offensive line, but didn't have a lot of weapons. right?
Mhm.
Unlike this new version of the Bears this year. And I would say this defense obviously is not as dominant as the 85 Bears. Okay, I have no idea what Ryu here is posting. We'll throw it up there for a second because I don't have translate on this, but okay. Um, so I think we're a more complete team. I don't know. What do you think, Woody?
Again, it's we didn't play a preseason game yet.
Or at least on paper, like going into this, the feel. I mean, I haven't felt that we were this complete of a team in a long time. Last year, I thought we were pretty good. I thought the offensive line would be better than it was, but then injuries happened. So the guys we thought we were going to have starting at the beginning of the season weren't there. But I look at this roster now with the moves made, and I can see why Slam and Sammy says it because I kind of agree. It does look like a complete team. It looks
it looks like it now. Again, I won't know till the season starts and when they can all play together against different teams, not just a couple of joint practices and with your own team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look like it's well. Obviously, the offensive line seems like it's a lot better than in like 30 years, but we'll see. Time will tell.
I guess Ryu might be a Saints fan.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I thought.
yeah. Hey, I'm down in that area. I'm in Saints territory down here in the Panhandle of Florida. Yeah, I mean, we've had some good offensive lines in the past. Obviously, that's been our weak point. It's funny with the Bears. It's like I said, even 85 wasn't a complete team, right? Like the offense had some weapons. Obviously you had Walter, you had Willie Gall, you had Matt Suey. Outside of that, though, it
Dennis
wasn't.
Gentry.
Yeah, Gentry, but they weren't like
No,
a stud offense. They were average to better than average, maybe is what you would say overall.
it was just
There
defense.
you go. Yeah, he's a diehard Saints fan. Okay.
Yeah, it was their defense.
Yeah, with the defense. This team though looks like more balanced, more complete. The 06 team was all defense, had some weapons on offense, but just didn't have the quarterback. And then we got the quarterback a few years later, and then the defense was crap. And the offensive line was crap. The defense was still pretty good, but the offensive line was crap. We brought in Mike Martz, who couldn't adapt his offense for what he had talent level wise. Then when we finally got the offense, the defense just fell apart because everyone retired. So, I mean, on paper, this looks very complete. Damian says I still have my doubts about Caleb, especially. I mean, I don't seeing him suck at practice. We've seen some absolute dimes at practice. We've seen some interceptions at practice, which is good though on the fact that it was Brisker doing the intercepting, and it's great to see him. So I don't know. I mean, how do you take that comment?
It's practice. Even great quarterbacks are throwing interceptions at practice because the wide receivers are still learning offense, new guys, stuff like that. What I thought when I was quarterback all these times is that you're throwing to where the wide receiver is going to be, not where he's at. So it's all timing. So maybe some timings are worked on in practice in the beginning. It's not as good as it should be in the season. Jaden Daniels is throwing a lot of interceptions too.
So is Rodgers. So is Love.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, it's a new offense, so they're trying to get the timing. Also, quarterbacks are trying to figure out in the preseason, okay, how tight of a window can I put that in? They try to get their shot group tightened, I should say. Slam and Sammy with back-to-back offseason champs with a good-looking draft class, new head coach too. Team looks better than Rams and Bucks. I'm going to err with Woody on this one. Until they play a game, I'm not going to say that. Because the Rams and the Bucks were good as teams on the field last year during the season. And I think they both improved. I don't know. I mean, we could be their Slam and Sammy. I'm just not going to pronounce that yet. A little bit concerned about the defense with Jalen being injured.
Not injured.
Yeah.
Not injured. He's not
Well,
injured. He's holding out.
all right, yeah. And we don't have an edge. Look at, I mean, Damian, well, that's what, we signed Deo to be that other edge. I get, though, where Damian comes from, because I know Woody's coming from there. I know Broski, I'm going to say his name 3 times, Broski. Maybe we'll invoke the Broski to come on air. Guys wanted a more established edge, a name we knew. Deo is not. When they signed him, they said, well, we think he's going to take that next step. So I get where you're coming from. But I'm not going to say we don't have an edge. We've got a guy we signed to be the edge. I think the question is, will he be the edge? Or will Booker step up and progress from last year, who came out a year early from college, and people were saying when we drafted him in the 5th round that, hey, if this guy stayed in college another year, he'd be a 1st or 2nd round pick at edge.
Oh my God, here we go.
I don't know if that's crazy. Okay, yeah, and the Micah thing. Okay.
I'm hoping that well, again, we all know what happened to the last Indianapolis edge rusher we had. He couldn't stop the run. He was done. So yeah. I'm hoping Booker beats out Deo, because we still have Booker under his rookie contract. He's obviously young yet. We want to, build him up with this team and stuff like that. So I'm hoping Booker beats him out. And I probably won't. Hopefully they get, a lot of reps together and stuff like that. So, but I want to see Booker progress.
I want to see Booker progress. I want to see how both Booker and Deo work. We know they improved the interior with getting Grady Jarrett. The interior is going to be nasty. I think that already makes the edge better. And, of course, Montez, who was on the injury report literally every week, he won't use it as an excuse, but let's be honest. The dude was on the injury report every week last year. He was never even close to being 100%. That injury obviously hampered him some. Now let's hope he's at 100%. With a much nastier interior, I think that helps him too. But I want to give Deo and Booker their fair shot before I say that, Damon, that we don't have an edge. As far as going after Micah, there was a guy I know on X posted that the Bears were making a deal. It got posted in our back chat too. Basically it was a first rounder, next year's first rounder, the year after that 2nd rounder, plus Cole Kmet from Micah Parsons, and then they threw in like a 5th round pick or something like that. Here's the problem with that. One, I don't think we're going to give up an offensive weapon especially with a coach who likes to run a 2 tight end set. So I don't think they would make that trade on that level alone, because I think they want to keep Loveland and Kmet, because that fits Ben Johnson's offense type. Secondly, as far as giving up draft compensation, I don't think we would be adverse to it. However, the small problem becomes the cap issue. Not only do we not have enough cap space this year, and that's why the person who did that post threw Kmet in, because that would make the cap room possibly. But then you've got the extension to deal with, and the amount of money you'd have to spend, 30-40 million a year on him. And how does that skew the rest of your cap for 2026 and beyond, considering that after the 2025 season, you literally have 0 safeties on the roster signed. 0. So you got to sign 4 guys at safety. Plus you got to sign your draft picks. Plus you've got, of all your backup quarterbacks, none of them are under contract next year. The only one who has under contract in the quarterback room for next year is Caleb Williams. So you got to give him an extension to either Bagent or Case or the other young kid who was on the practice squad last year. Now, look at those might be cheap, but you still got to pay them. And then you've got other positions.
You're talking about Austin Reed?
Austin Reed, thank you. Yeah, Austin Reed. But the point being is, I don't know financially if that is even possible for the Bears to go after Micah, or just like Trey Hendrickson. It's the same problem you had with trading for Trey Hendrickson. And really, I think that Micah demanding a trade and Trey Hendrickson demanding a trade kind of makes both that market for those guys a little cheaper. because it lessens the competition. Because now you have 1A and 1B, so to speak, to go after. But for me, I think the reason why the Bears are out, Woody, is a lot of it's the financial piece.
Is this about Micah?
Micah Parsons, yeah. Damian says he would trade Brisker, Braxton, and Case. Well, Case is on a 1-year
Whoa.
deal.
Whoa.
Braxton is at the end of it, is on a 1-year deal. All those guys have no deal after this year, so I don't think Dallas would go for that.
Which I think Mike is staying he's staying in Dallas. There's just no way. If Jerry Jones lets him go, he should be fired. But say if Bears offer him a trade, I was mixing stuff up, but I would do Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, and 2 first-rounders. I'll take it. Do it. But that's my dream.
I mean, look at Montez. By throwing Montez in there, and Edmonds. You said Edmonds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that frees up a lot of cap space to be able to afford Parsons. But I think, though, now my only problem with that scenario is, okay, I get Parsons, but I give up Sweat. Well, wait a minute. The idea was to give if Sweat's a legitimate edge rusher, the idea was to get – now I'm in the same boat I was before, except now I've given up multiple draft picks and more talent. I don't know if that works for me.
I don't know about more talent. I would pick Micah Parsons over Sweat every day of the week. We'll see how. Yeah,
but now who's going to be your other linebacker?
Wow, we could. There's always a draft coming up.
Hippolyte? Yeah,
they're saying he's a surprise of the draft class for the Bears this year too at linebacker. So, yeah, but they're not. You definitely ain't trading Montez. Hey, listen, Mike is better than Montez Sweat. I'm sorry to tell you. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to tell you. He's a lot better than Montez Sweat. I would take him. But Tremaine Edmonds, he's one of those players that's got to break out this year or reconstruct his contractors. He's gone. So
the problem, I think he's 100% on that, Woody. He's got to do something or he's gone. And I think that's maybe why Hippolyte was drafted. And if he surpasses him and gets more playing time this year, then obviously we know who the Bears are. The cap casualty for the Bears is going to be this offseason. But talking Micah Parsons, I mean, dude, that's 41 mil next year. Right now we're negative like 3 mil in cap. Now the cap goes up 20 mil. I mean, okay, you get rid of Edmonds, that saves you 15 or so. You're still falling short. I mean, and then you still have to sign a safety room because you have no one. You need to sign a backup quarterback because you have no one. You're on the last year of a deal for why am I brain farting? At running back, you're at the last year of a deal with your starting running back. You're on the last year. You see what I'm saying? I mean, financially, it creates issues, a big issue.
Yep. I'm saying that's just a dream. That's the only thing you could probably do.
So wait, Sammy asks, who would we rather pay? Would we rather pay Micah Parsons for about 41 mil or Scary Terry for 33 mil?
We don't need Scary Terry. Like I said, and Ken and I don't agree to this, but it's been working out, and this is my breakout player of the year is Rome Odunze. I'm thinking that was a want, not a need when we drafted him, and I wanted Verse or Dallas Turner because we needed to address the defensive edge rusher in the draft. But it seems like Rome's been going to work out. He's my breakout player of the year. But yeah, that's just me.
Man, you see, yeah, I mean, the war of words down there, Damien, is true. I don't know if the Bears are in a place to get him. And we didn't agree on the drafting of Rome, but he could be the breakout guy. Woody's correct. Damien says he replaced DJ Moore for Scary Terry. I wouldn't. DJ Moore is highly productive. He's like what, 4 or 5 years younger. I I stick with
Wow.
DJ, to be honest.
Yeah.
Look we don't need Scary Terry.
No.
There's only one team in the North who would probably look at getting Scary Terry, and that's one team I hope he would never go to, and that's Green Bay. I don't think the Lions would spend the money on him because they got J-Mo and St. Brown. And obviously with Addison and JJ in Minnesota, they're not looking. We're not looking. However, the Packers have Dobbs and Golden, and Christian. So really,
Well, they got Dobbins, they got Golden, they got Christian Watson, they got Reed. So
right, but I mean, Scary Terry would be a huge upgrade for them.
Oh yeah,
I think they would be the only team in the North looking, and I don't see them pulling the trigger on that because they're not going to pay that money because that's just not the way they do things. But I'm not going to touch that one. But we don't need Scary Terry. So if the question is who would I rather pay? Well, for the Bears, it'd be Micah Parsons because we don't need Terry.
Yeah, he's only 20. He's only 26 years old.
This is his first contract. He's finishing off his rookie deal right now. So Micah Parsons, I would definitely take over Scary Terry. The problem for the Bears is where's that money going to come from?
Yeah, I know.
And then what are we like? I know these guys, the GMs can work their magic, but Brian Poles just got us out of cap hell. When he took over, he got us out of cap hell. They've managed the cap very well. I don't know if I don't know how much that would destroy things for the Bears cap wise going forward to get Micah. Now, if this was a throw it all in the win right now move, okay, fine, do it and then figure it out. But we'd still have to get under the cap for this year because he's making 20 some mil this year. So if it was a trade where we didn't give up talent and just gave up picks, we gotta free up roster or money for this year.
I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up in a second. Go ahead.
Listen, I don't care. You can fucking fire me, whatever you want. I'm still calling the Redskins. Terry is their whole fucking wide receiving crew. They traded Dotson to the Eagles, which is crazy. DJ has not lost a step. We have so much firepower on that team. We had Keenan Allen, we had Rome Dunze. Imagine them the years that we didn't have those two. DJ Moore, those first couple years, was the man on that team. So he did not lose a step. It's just that we gained a lot more players on that team to throw to. There's more options there. Scary Terry is the only option, him and Zach Ertz, and that's it on the Redskins.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I had to go off camera for a second. I was listening. I agree. I agree with you, Woody. I had to shoot some cats out here. And look, Terry's also, he's on the other side of 30 now. Right. Historically, that's not a good place to be as a wide receiver, to be honest with you.
Nope.
So, plus, DJ, the ball distribution last year went to more people. DJ is still one of the best for Yak in this league. He's a dynamic guy who's young. I like our wide receiving room. Our wide receiving room, we do not need to tinker with. We've got this wide receiving room as it is for the next 4 years under contract. What a luxury to have. And to be honest with you, the DJ Moore contract is phenomenal for not just DJ. He got paid, but it was really good for the Bears too. Like that was a contract where the player was happy, extremely happy, and the organization's happy because it didn't break their piggy bank, and it was a fair contract for all, and that set the Bears up perfectly. You got Rome on a rookie deal. Now you've got Luther Burden on a rookie deal for his 4 years. So for the next 4 years, actually, the entire wide receiving room is locked. Now the problem's going to be in about 3 years when we got to start doing extensions.
Yep.
Right? And where that money's coming from. But as of now, dude, I love our wide receiving room.
Yeah, and I love the running back. I mean, they're saying Roshan Johnson there's a fire in his ass, which it should be. So obviously they're using him right. I haven't heard too much about Kmet. or Loveland. I don't think either of them hurt. Is Loveland still out because of his injury for practices and stuff like that?
Wait, what was that again?
Loveland, is he still out from
No,
his
he's practicing.
Okay.
I haven't heard much on Komet or Loveland.
No.
They're both practicing, but we haven't heard much, which might not be unusual. A-Dub, the whole Parsons and Mac thing, there's been a lot of comparisons, and what was it, CBS or someone put out a trade package where the Bears did something similar to get Micah. Said, look, when they did it for Mac, they won the division. But I don't think, look, this is not the pace regime. I think we're more measured, and we're not as willing to put the team in a cap hell situation to get somewhere early, to play the cheat code, so to speak.
See, the thing about Micah and Khalil Mack, and correct me if I'm wrong, Khalil Mack is more like a bull rusher. He's strong. Micah Parsons he could play anywhere, bull rusher, and he's speedy. So speed kills sometimes. I would take Micah Parsons any day of the week.
Yeah, and Sammy says top 5 money for a dude will be 31 when the extension starts. I just tagged Terry, but I mean, they could, but the problem is if he wants, you can tag him. That's not going to stop him from demanding the trade or being a holdout like he is now. So I don't think the tag works in the Scary Terry case. It worked for Micah Parsons originally because he said, look, pay the other guys. I'll play under the tag. Pay the other guys as long as you're going to pay me. Fine, I'll play under the tag. And they said, okay, fine. And now it's time to pay Micah, and they're like hemming and hawing and backtracking and kind of reneging on their word to Micah, who showed that he was a team guy. I mean, there are more arguments as to why I would like Micah Parsons than not. He's a team guy. He's willing to put the team first. He's a phenomenal player. I think him and Montez with our interior, dude, we'd have the best defense in the league. I think the Bears would be the most dominant defense, or could be the most dominant defense in the league. The problem for the Bears is, how do we pay for it?
It's funny how it's funny how these players, when they see, like, for example, TJ Watt getting this massive contract, all these defensive edge rushers want to come out and say now, hey, I want this money. If cap wise, it's Henderson. You mean Hendrickson, correct?
Yeah, he means Trey. I mean, okay, wait. Which would be a better move, Micah or Trey? You know
cap
what?
Wise. Cap wise.
Hendrickson. I think they're about the same.
Hendrickson wants like 38, and if
Micah's about the same ballpark.
I thought it was 41 he wanted.
You know what though? I would say this, cap wise, I would say Micah, and here's why. Even if he might cost $2 or $3 million more, because you're going to sign him to a longer term contract that he's going to be good for. So you're not going to be carrying dead cap. If Trey, who's older, falls off this year, next year, and you have to get rid of him, you might end up carrying a lot of dead cap. With Micah, who's now entering his second contract, if you will, you would think you have a lot more longevity and less of a possibility of carrying a ton of dead cap with him 2 years, 3 years down the road. So Micah would be smarter cap wise if you had the space, if you had the capability and the space to have him.
Listen, we were talking about this the other day too. I think I can see Micah going to the Chargers or the Jets. Those are my 2 teams up in the air to get Micah if he gets traded.
I hear the Chiefs have Joshua Williams on the trade block. Do you think he's worth a 4th or a 5th? Woody and I are both like, who?
What?
Corner makes $3.2 million this year, left off the roster.
Oh, we don't need corners. We need fucking safeties.
Yeah. Let me look at the stat line really quick, Woody. Last year he had 19 solo tackles. 30 tackles last year, total 1 sack. Six passes defended, 2 stuffs, 1 stuff yard. Obviously, played in the Super Bowl. They left him off the 53.
Don't
right?
say that. He ain't going to fucking Philly. Even though they, well,
No, he's on the 53. Honestly,
I
I'm
mean,
with Woody. Like, we don't. Yeah, but see, okay, that can only happen if it was in free agency. It's not going to happen via trade.
no.
And he's not a free agent, so that scenario goes. As far as like Sammy, your question, I'm with Woody. We don't need another corner, and like I mean, like a 5th or 6th rounder. Okay, sure. Maybe if you need depth, okay, let me rephrase that. A 5th or 6th rounder, if we know this guy could be a good depth piece, better than what we've got. Okay, fine, right? Because most 5th or 6th rounders don't make the squad anyways. If we had a depth issue, maybe. But yeah, otherwise, no. I'm with Woody. I mean, I think we need long-term safety things. And look, at part of that issue is Brisker, right? Is Brisker healthy? And if Brisker's healthy, I think they'll sign an extension during the season if he shows he's healthy, right? That there could be an extension.
Oh yeah.
And you have to have money for that. So going back to this Micah Parsons or Trey Hendrickson ideas, if Ryan Poles, I don't think he's scared of the compensation to get the players. Right? I think he'd be willing to give up. I think most Bears fans, too, would be willing to give up a first rounder next year, knowing it's going to be a late first round pick, probably, if we were to make this trade. And it's probably worth giving up a first rounder, a second rounder, for him. Either one of these guys. No players to be included. Just be like, you can have a first rounder and a second rounder, and that'd probably be it. Right? I don't think teams are going to get much more than that. You hear all these wild trade scenarios. Honestly, I think a first rounder and a second rounder, and then maybe like we swap out a 4th for their 5th in some draft gets it done. In the reality of the NFL, I think the problem for Poles and the management team is this: where am I going to make the money? What moves can I make financially? Knowing that I have no safeties under contract next year, no backup quarterback under contract next year. I'm on Swift's last year of his deal next year, right? So I'm going to have to do an extension there, possibly. I have to sign, I got a couple other guys are going to need some extensions or signing. Where am I going to come up with the money? And here's the problem. The 3 biggest contracts that are available for cut without harm to the team, Cole Kmet, Swift, who at $8 million, if he has another season like last year, looks like a steal for what good running backs go for in the marketplace. He actually looks like a steal at $8 million. If he puts up 1,400 all-purpose yards this year at $8 million, he is actually a steal in some regards. And then Edmonds. And Edmonds is the most likely candidate to be cut. He's got the biggest of the 3. Right, so you might save, I think, what was it, 20 million? Mm-hmm. I think we saw. Let me pull it up, so I can give you guys a better number. So right now we have 13 mil available. Next year we're negative 9.4 mil. Tremaine Edmonds, if we cut him pre-June 1st. We say 15 mil. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I think it's the same for post. Post June 1st, the numbers don't change, right? So, okay, you could cut him and save some money. But who else are you cutting? Cole Kmet, if you do pre-June 1st, you save 8.4. If you do post, you save 11. DeAndre Swift, you could save money, but now you need a running back. Cole Kmet, if you cut him, you need another tight end. Tremaine Edmonds, we might already have a replacement for him on this roster. Okay, so that would get you with what the cap is, right, with the way the money is today, if you cut him today, now that you have roughly 5.5 million in cap, which isn't even going to cover your draft class. And oh, by the way, you still need to sign at least 4 safeties and a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay,
this team might look different next year.
So the question is, are there restructures? Sure. There could be. Montez Sweat, possibly, with the cap number 25 million. DJ Moore, possibly, with the cap number 28 million. Jalen Johnson with the cap number 21 million. I don't know, though, depending on what's going on. Jonah Jackson's cap hit next year is 17 million. He may be a restructure deal. If he works out this year, they're going to restructure him. For sure. Well, no, they just gave him the extension, didn't they?
I thought it was Tooney.
Oh, that was Tooney. That's right. And Tooney's isn't bad next year. He's 21 million. It's actually Deo is 20 million. And if you cut Deo pre-June 1st, you're negative 1.5 mil even further into cap hell, and you have 22 million in dead cap. Grady Jarrett's the same thing. You can't cut him or do anything. It's because you just signed him. So really, maybe you could rework DeAndre Swift and save a few pennies. Maybe same for Cole Kmet. You can't really do anything with Dahlman. Jonah Jackson, let me drill down on his contract real quick. So his contract is he's off the trade. His cap number becomes 17 mil the next two for 26 and 27. If he works out, maybe you could restructure. Maybe. So once again, money is becoming an issue here. I don't see the Cowboys trading him in the division, man.
I don't.
No way. Not him. It's not for this year, though. That's not the problem for safety. We got a good safety room for this year. It's just that none of them are under contract next year. Santos saves us about $2 million, Damian. Let me bring it back up. I think if he gets cut, obviously you're paying the new kicker $1 million. About $1 million, I think, is the league minimum this year is like 1.1 mil. Or that's next year. I'm sorry. No, it's this year. 1.1 mil is what you're paying him. So if I cut Santos, he's making like 2 or 3 mil, I believe. Where's Santos? If you cut him, so if you cut Santos, you're saving about $900,000 because you're saving $2 million on the cap, right? But then you're paying the new guy $1 million. So you're saving roughly $900,000 to $1 million, and you're carrying 2.1 mil in dead cap if you cut Santos.
And I'm probably the only Bears fan in the universe saying that first preseason game, I want to see a lot of field goals kicked on Chicago's side to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, I want to see a 55, 60-yarder too. I want to see if Kim can hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you're at, though. Santos isn't making huge money. It's like you save like $1 million this year. Obviously, you're saving like 2 or 3 mil for next year. Not a huge savings. Even Packer fans are saying this, and they're right. The Bears should be better this season.
I thought they should have been better last year, but
same here with the talent they had. I mean, last year was a great example of why coaching matters. Like defensively, we were coached well. Offensively,
that's probably why I didn't want Jaden Daniels on this team last year. He probably would have got murdered too.
Yeah, I mean, look, offensively last year we sucked. Waldron was the wrong choice for OC. So that was 2 OCs in a row that Eberflus whiffed on. Then he was Phil Jackson with no Tex winners. Because he was very Zenny, Phil Jackson-like in his approach, but he didn't have a Tex winners to crack the whip and design that offense. Well, Tex winners was the defense, so but I get it. But you know what I mean. And it showed. And the fact, though, that Caleb had the year he had going through basically 2 OCs and 2 head coaches during the year to have the season he had was actually something to let's say, wow, okay, wait a minute. Like, for as bad as the coaching was, to see some of the individual performances put up by some of these players last year on this roster says we have talent. We just need coaching. And let's hope Ben Johnson and the new staff is the answer. I don't know if it's going to take a while. I think they're already feeling it. If you've not been paying attention to practices, kicking people off, I think it's been a pretty immediate impact. As far as the offense taking shape, yeah, I don't expect it week 1. By the bye week, coming into week 6 though, that offense should be there. The first 4 games before we hit the bye are going to be interesting. What do you think, Woody?
You mean the first 4 preseason games before the bye?
Yeah.
Unbelievable fucking schedule.
I think the Ben Johnson effect, though, has been felt immediately in terms of tone and accountability and things like that, which will up the level of guys. As far as the design of the offense and the execution of it, and the same for the defense with Allen, I think we're going to have to, that we look at Bears fans, don't expect week 1 for us to come out here and throw up 48 points against Minnesota.
No.
In fact, Minnesota is ahead of us because they have no coaching changes. They're comfortable in their schemes. Yes, they have J.J. McCarthy, who's going to be the next quarterback in their plug-and-play offense.
They have a better offensive line. They added a back. So we're going to see a lot of Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason on that Monday night as well.
That Monday night game, it's advantage Minnesota in terms of scheme. The team knowing their scheme and prepared. The Vikings defense is going to be tough all year. And the whole division is going to have tough defenses. The first couple games, though, I don't expect a lot. Now, look, could the Bears come out and put up 48? Sure. Maybe they catch it quickly. Maybe, they catch lightning in the bottle. Maybe it all just comes together beautifully in camp and in preseason and joint practices. It could happen. I'm not saying it won't, but I wouldn't expect it. I don't expect it. Caleb ran from pressure. The difference with Caleb, though, and one thing I liked about Caleb, he didn't just tuck and run like Justin did. He was always looking to deliver the ball downfield. Now, early on, he took some sacks because of it. But towards the end of the season, he started to kind of run more. We saw him actually run more, and we saw him get rid of the ball more. So that was part of his rookie progression. I don't think Jaden Daniels would have had even close to the year he had last year in Washington if we had taken him. Everyone would be saying how the Bears whipped on Caleb, and it would be even worse because everyone thought Caleb should be number 1 overall before the draft. And you know what I'm saying? It's a lose-lose argument, is what I'm trying to say there. What do you think, Woody?
That's just me. My aspect on that. I'm thinking we should have drafted. 2 years in a row, we drafted the second best player in the draft.
Who do you think? Quarterback? Who's quarterback 2? That's a good question. Woody and I talked about it Wednesday a little bit. I think it's Bagent. I think it's still Bagent.
Yeah, I think they brought Case Keenum in because it's veteran and maybe help these young guys out. But I'm thinking if I was Case Keenum in the back of my head, I was like, well, I know I'm a mentor for these guys, but I'm gonna try to get my best to get this fucking number 2 spot.
What up, Yinzer? Yeah, I agree. I agree with Woody. I think like last year they brought in the vet to look at these 3 guys we got: Reed, Bagent, and Caleb. They have a familiarity and comfortability with each other. I think they work great as a quarterback room. I think Bagent is one of the smarter guys that we don't know about. And last year, people were saying how smart he was for a second-year guy and how he understood stuff and understood the game and being professional. I think some of that comes from his dad and his profession. But I think they brought Chase in more or less just to be a mentor for camp. Because if you look at his numbers during his NFL career, they're not really great. Yeah, he's got the miracle in Minneapolis under his belt. But so what? So did Nick Foles had the miracle, the Philly special. What happened to his career? I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think he's just there to be a veteran guy at camp, to be honest with you. The commies so
Jesus
yeah, I
Christ.
think they may have, but like also their scheme was much better. Like they had a good offensive coordinator. Don't take that away from them. Their offensive coordinator was good, better than ours. Their talent on the offensive line last year was not much better than ours, or you could almost argue it was the same. But they got much more out of that talent than we did because they had a good scheme. They had better coaching. I think if Caleb was there, Caleb would have done the same thing or more. And if Jaden was in Chicago, John Dorn would be saying that he's a bust. Um, honestly, Caleb for the going through 2 head coaches, well, really having 3 OCs and everything else to be 5th all time on the Bears passing yards list after 1 season for a single season, right? 5th all time with only 6 picks, and that last pick really was just kind of like almost like a Hail Mary throw. So I don't even want to count that, but still, like, dude, he had a really good rookie campaign and played every game, showed durability, and he showed growth throughout the season with all that other stuff. I think the Bears, but I don't think the Bears could get it wrong at that pick, whether it been Daniels or Caleb. I think both are very good quarterbacks, and both are going to be very good quarterbacks in this league for a very long time. It's 1A and 1B.
Well, Ken, my couch is here.
Go get your couch, brother. I'll see you Wednesday.
I want to thank everybody to come on with their comments. Ken, I'll see you Wednesday. Bear down. Everybody have a good week.
Bear down. But yeah, I think that have a good one, Woody. Enjoy the new couch. I think that really that's what it comes down to. I think it's almost interchangeable at that point. Do the Bears beat the commies this season? I hope so. That's a game you got to have. Monday Night Football revenge game after the Hail Mary game that was at last year. And look at a bad Bears team took to a Hail Mary to win that game. It was a luck play that won that game. So honestly, I would hope we win that game. If they don't have Scary Terry, I think Washington's in big trouble if they don't sign Scary Terry. I mean, he is their offensive threat, big offensive threat. So it becomes a lot harder if they don't have Scary Terry. So some interesting things with camp. We get joint practices this week. One guy I'm going to be watching, actually, is from Miami. AJ Henning, number 88 for the Dolphins, watching him. I served with his dad. AJ is an Illinois guy. He was the Illinois High School Association Player of the Year his senior year of high school. Then went to Michigan, then played at Northwestern for the last 2 years before becoming an undrafted free agent rookie with the Dolphins. So we'll probably see a fair amount of him in the preseason game against the Dolphins. Hoping he can make that roster, man. Hoping all the best for AJ Henning there in Miami, a Chicago kid. Dad's retired Army like me. Good guy, his dad and him. So be watching that and be watching the joint practices this week. I think we'll start to see more. I think, look at this morning when I opened the clickbait, the first thing I saw when I opened up my browser was possible trade partners for the Bears and Caleb Williams. Like, really? So we've been doing good about staying away from the clickbait. Not getting too excited about practices, like whether how good or bad guys are looking. We understand it's practice. We have seen improvement though from players. We can see some of that. But as far as like the interceptions and stuff like that, that's normal for camp. But the individual stuff with some of these linemen and stuff, seeing Brisker out there practicing, being looking pretty decent is good. Now we really get the first test, joint practices. And then we'll see a preseason game. And then we got to see where this – I don't think the Bears are making a move for Trey or Micah. I don't know where the money's coming from. And at the end of the day, I think that's what the barrier. I mean, if you trade away your first-round pick, you save $9 million from the cap. So, okay, fine. But you got to make it do to 30. Oh, yeah, bro. Oh, yeah. It is so out of control. Every year it's so out of control. And none of it, look at, I don't know why people, I think people I think most people don't look at it anymore because they've been burned by reading these things and then going, oh my God, we're going to do this so many times. And literally none of it's ever happened, that people are learning. The trolls like to do it because, They're trolls, but yeah, all the trade deals for TJ and everything else, and just terrible. Okay, but what they would want from Micah and what they would get from Micah might be two different things. They might be able to get 2 number 1 picks for him. But I guess go Pecco. Here's my other question though. Like, so you get 2 number 1s. Is that all it is? It's 2 number 1s and that's it, or is it like maybe 2 number 1s and you swap a 4th and a 5th, right? Like we'll take you get our 4th, we'll take your 5th kind of thing. Remember when the Bears did the trade for Mac? It was 2 firsts and like a 6th or something like that, and we got Mac in a second back or something like that, and then we traded the second rounder, or something like that. You know, I mean, is it? I mean, I don't know if any plus a player. I don't know though. Like, if you're the Bears or you're the Packers, who are you giving up? Like, you're not gonna give anyone up of consequence. Like, if the Bears, okay, maybe we give up Deo. That would make cap room sense, right? To give up Deo, who we just signed, though. See, that complicates it. Like, if you give up Deo, who we just signed, right, then that makes for next year the cap money a little more tolerable, right? Because, you know, that's 22 million on the cap or 20 million on the cap. That's half of the salary if you give up Deo. Yeah, me too, man. I cannot wait. I mean, like, if you give up like a first rounder, Deo, and like a second rounder the next year, maybe that gets it done. But the problem is you just signed Deo. That's kind of hard to do. Like, trade a guy you literally just signed. Tremaine Edmonds maybe put in that deal because that frees up cap space too. See, that's the thing for the Bears. They have to be someone they'd be willing to get rid of that frees up the cap space necessary to sign Micah long term. That's also the part. Go Pack Go. I'm going back to being excited for the season. I'm excited, and then I'm upset, but I'm happy at the same time. I'm missing week 2 because I'm doing an anniversary cruise with my wife. We call it our 10-10. We're doing an Alaska cruise, so I'll actually be on a cruise ship for week 2 against the Lions. So I'll be missing that game, but I am very excited to put football back. I watched all Thursday night's game because we had football back, it was good to see the backups. Just good to see football. Good to see the NFL uniforms out on the field again and a game being played, even though they had no consequence. It was just nice to see. We're going to start getting all kinds of games now. It's ramping up, people. Oh, nice. Where in Texas are you going? We only got about 2 minutes left, so let me know. We're going to have to wrap this thing up here in a minute. Yeah, traveling's always nice. I just don't know if I don't think I'll have ship's Wi-Fi. Hopefully the game will be on the ship. It'll be a nationally televised, or the ship will have it because they like to play the NFL games. And that'll be a pretty big game, so maybe they'll have that. Northern Texas. Okay, sweet. Good deal. Not too far from me. I'm in the Panhandle, so a couple hours. About 6-7 hours away, maybe. Look, guys, the season's coming. We'll see what the Bears do. I don't think we're making a trade for Micah or Trey. If we do, it's going to be blockbuster, or anything for either of those guys. It's going to be blockbuster. It's just going to be – what will be more interesting to me if we were to make a deal is what money is being moved and how we're going to address the cap situation for not just this year but next year. And some of that could be answered by players in the deal, but if it's a non-player deal, if it's just for capital, oof. So you were in my AO, because I'm right here by Herbie and NAS Jacks, or NES Jacks, NES Pensacola. So you're in my AO there. Go Pack Go. Lots of us folks. In fact, it's funny. My backyard neighbor is a Packers fan, and here we are in the Panhandle of Florida. My backyard neighbor is a Packers fan. Good guy. We hang out. Yep, you're at Herbie. Nice. Yep, Herbie just down the road from me. I use their commissary every so often. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy. Don't forget tomorrow morning, be with us at 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, and Elgin. Yep, there we go. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 at East, Ken and Ken in the morning. We're back for the weekday show. Ken will be back from vacation, thank goodness. And Ken stayed in between. Sweet, very nice. And then we'll be back here for Halas Hall on Wednesday for Woody. Thank you for everyone in the comments today. It's been a great show. Enjoyed being here with you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go hit the pool. Go hit the beach. Go cut the grass. I did that yesterday. Everyone, have a great day. All right, man. We're out here.